Hello, my name is Valerie, and this is my story. I have overcome a lot in my life, starting with sexual abuse, emotional, physical abuse, and therapy has helped, and God has helped a lot. It all just starts with moving past everything. You have to learn to not just move past it, I had to learn to deal with the things from my past that traumatizing. Okay then. And if you are in a situation that you need help, seek help, whether it be through a therapist, your pastor at your church, a police officer. A lot of people are willing to help. But my story started, well, the gist of it is my ex decided that he wanted a divorce. And he decided that after we were on a cruise and we had a good time, that he was going to ship me off to my sister in Puerto Rico. And he changed my flight. I went to go see my grandparents in Oregon, and he changed my flight to Puerto Rico. I was there for a month, and during that month, I learned a lot about myself. I learned how strong I really was, because through everything that he was putting me through, the text messages that he thought he was controlling me through, and everything, I was able to find a lawyer, and I ended up going back to my mom's, which he helped with that, and I was able to, once I moved back to Louisiana, I was able to seek therapeutical help. And I also read the book Daring Greatly. If you have not read that book, it's absolutely 100% amazing. Brene Brown's insight of everything helped me go through everything. She's the reason why I decided to go to therapy in the first place, was because of that book. Her points about wholehearted living and made me realize that I did not want to deal with all the abuse that I have been dealing with the same way that I dealt with the sexual abuse from my past. I did not want to be this angry person. I wanted to live wholeheartedly. I wanted to live every day like it was going to be my last. Enjoy life, meet people, not let my past dictate my future. So, if you haven't read the book, you should definitely read it. And it also led me to Brent and Sabrina, some of my very good friends. And it's just, one thing is, you don't have to let your past define what your future is going to be. If you've gone through a divorce or going through divorce, you're not alone. And if you've gone through abuse, you're not alone. There are people that can help you, whether it be a counselor, your pastor, a police officer, anybody can help you. You have to live every moment. Going through the actual abuse emotionally was really trying. I knew that it wasn't my fault. All of his hate directed towards me was not my fault. It was him. But going through it, you start to believe that it's your fault. You start to feel down about yourself. During it, I was on antidepressants and anxiety medications to help me deal with the abuse. Without the medication at the time, I don't think that I would have been able to survive as much as I did survive. So there's no shame in getting help if you need medication. There's no shame in that. Dealing with the emotional struggles that he's put me through now, I have friends that I talk about it with that have helped, but therapy has helped a lot too, because it's a safe space for you to talk about your emotions and everything that he's put me through. And just talking about it helps a lot, because there's a lot of emotional stuff that if you don't get past it, you're just going to relive it later on in a few years. And that's not any way to live, to be afraid. Because when you listen to people tell you how bad you are, or how you don't do things right, or you're not pretty enough, or you're too big, or those kind of stuff starts to weigh on you. And talking about it helps. Letting people know that it's not okay and that you're not he has an itch. And you're not alone. A lot of times the abuser will try and isolate you, or isolate a person, and they make them think that they're alone, and you're not alone. And that's the biggest thing, is knowing that you're not alone. Because when you feel like you're alone, then you feel lonely and detached. And that's not necessarily unworthy. Yes, they make you feel unworthy. But they're so, no matter if you're all alone or not, there's a God that cares about you. And you're never really alone. Because even when I felt my lowest and I felt like nobody was there, I know that God was there with me. And that's what really got me through everything. It's because ultimately my love for God led me to my church that I go to now, and I have amazing friends there. And that's how I've met a ton of amazing people. You don't have to stay in it. That there are people out there that are willing to help you, whether that be the police or a church. Just get help. That's one of the things that I wish I would have done. I wish that I could have left 10 years ago, but I wasn't brave enough. And that you are brave enough, and you're smart enough, and you're pretty. And that they don't matter. You're the one who matters. People that make you feel like you don't matter are the ones that are really having problems with themselves. It's not about you, it's about them. They make you feel little because they already feel little. So it's about picking yourself up and realizing that you are the better person and that you can do it. And that you're not alone. There are people out there, whether it be police, therapist, a pastor, a priest. There are people out there willing to help, and you're not alone. One of the many therapists, there's only been a couple, but one of the therapists that I had, actually, when the abuse was happening, she helped me so much realize that it was let me go. That's enough. She helped me so much realize that you have tapes. We all have tapes that play in our head, whether those be negative or positive. Mine were always negative. Like, I always felt like I wasn't good enough, or that nobody was listening. And you have to reprogram those tapes. And that's one way that you can get out, is to reprogram it. Once you have yourself fixed, then you realize that you don't need the person. And one of the things that you could do to fix yourself is realize that that you are good enough, that you are pretty enough. And sometimes, a lot of the times when I'm feeling down or upset and I feel like I'm not good enough, I realize I have a song that plays in my head, or like Mandisa, what is that song? Overcomer, or Unfinished, or Matthew West songs. He's an amazing artist, and he has some new music that just came out that's amazing. And you just, instead of thinking about the negatives, you think about the positives, like how much you've overcome and how much you have done, like whether that be you finished school, or you're thinking about going back to school, or that you're still here. And that's a big one. And not letting your abuser make you feel small when you're really bigger than they are, because they're really the ones that are small. That is just the short part of my story. But you have the power to change your future and make it the way that you want, whether that be leaving, whether that be, it's whatever you want. It's your future. Don't stay stuck in a situation just because you don't feel like you can't get out, because there's always options. You could talk to Brent. He's an amazing guy. Or there's even other ones if he's not the right fit for you. But don't stay stuck just because you don't feel like you're worthy enough to get out. You are. You are definitely worthy.